TPA and Heparin Infusion for a DVT. Here's the sheath going into the patient. It can be in their arm or their leg. In this case, it's a popliteal sheath. This is their access, and over here is the catheter. The catheter will be dripping into the clot. So at the end of the catheter, it's in the patient inside the clot. This is their popliteal, so this is the patient's leg, and it's been completely prepped with pink. Do a wide prep so you have a large sterile area. Janine will be our sterile nurse, and I will be our non-sterile helper nurse. Okay, Janine.
Perfect. Thanks, Christina.
Thanks.
So as Christina said, I'm the sterile nurse, so everything I'm touching is all my sterile tray that I have ready. The doctor has just left the room, and he's left it with the catheter in place to the clot and the sheath holding the catheter. He'll give you direct instructions, TPA, for instance, at 1 milligrams an hour through the catheter, and heparin, say 500 units an hour through the sheath. As before he leaves the room, because this procedure can take up to 15-20 minutes, I confirm with the doctor that it is all right if I continue to flush the catheter and sheath so it's not sitting with the blood backed up for 15 minutes. So he will say yes, confirming that that's fine. So now the first thing I want to do is secure my sheath, and even more importantly, my catheter, as the doctor has placed it in the clot. So the first thing we're going to do is get our 1-inch opsites. Actually, we're going to open.
Okay, I'll open it up on your tray. Sorry, Janine. Here's your...
Thank you. No matter where you're putting steri strips on your dressing or anywhere on the field, you always want to put a tab or bunny ears on both ends. This will make removing the dressing, steri strips, so much easier for your partner. So both ends are tabbed. So I'm going to secure my sheath to the patient. And then I'm going to want to secure my catheter, doing the bunny ends or the tabs. Sticky side facing up. And the most supportive way I have found, gently lifting your sheath and securing your steri strip to the side port and your catheter. Starting at the end of your sheath, match up, securing your side port, catheter, sheath, and all the way up. So my sheath is secure, and I'll give this a gentle tug just to show you see that that is a very supportive, and that sheath isn't going to go anywhere. Now I can move on to the TPA and the heparin infusion. There is not any reason why you would start either the heparin or the TPA first, and so I always start with the TPA. So I'll get my helper B. On my sterile tray, I have extension tubings. So I'll get my helper B. We'll start with the TPA, so this is just the first one here. So my non-sterile nurse, this is how we transfer from a non-sterile IV tubing to my sterile tray. You can just actually even take it out of the pump to start off with. And then we're going to hook up to my extension tubing. Whoop.
Oh, sorry.
No, just leave it off.
Okay.
And then and that goes forward. Now you can run it through. And I'm flushing my extension tubing. Good. Turn off. And then now Christina will hook it up to the pump. And the dose is 1.
And then just put volume to be infused as 500 since you put in 500 bag.
Good. Now it's infusing, and in order to hook it up to my catheter, I want to remove the one-way stop clock. I've already confirmed with my physician that flushing is fine. So I'm going to do a wet-to-wet mount. Going to give it a gentle flush. 1 to 2 cc's is plenty. And then I'm going to do a wet-to-wet mount again. And then I'm going to grab snaps from my sterile tray, and on the sterile drape, I'm just going to snap in place just to secure it while I'm doing the taping. Then we'll repeat that procedure with the heparin.
Way smoother this time now that we know what we're doing. Okay.
Now, since the sheath has a stop clock, there we go.
I'll just go forward there.
We can flush hooked up because I've turned it off to the patient. Now we have taken all the air out of the port as well. And then Christina can hook up to the pump, and I've left it off to the patient until we've got it set at the correct rate. And then I can turn the stop clock so it's infusing. And then I'm just securing to the sterile drape while I get ready. So now we want to tape. We've got our heparin infusing and our TPA infusing. So now we want to tape. I'll start with this small op site. And I'm just securing the sheath in place. And then we just make a circle with our catheter. Could you open? And if we were to tape this on the skin, the stop clock could dig into the patient. So we're just putting a pad underneath the stop clock, just for padding. And then if you open a steri strip, oh, I have one right here. And then the telfa. Some people like the telfa on the catheter just to protect it from the op site pulling.
Flawless execution.
And then Christine, you just add anything for the end. We don't, when the patient comes back for a recheck, we don't ever turn off the TPA or the heparin without the doctor asking us to. And
that's it. The reason to do the dressing like this is so it's easy to remove for the next person, because they come back around every 8 hours to see if the clot has broken up, and sometimes we need to redress it again and continue the treatment. So we'll just show you that this is easy to remove. This is the last part, Jer. When you're helping, when you're applying the dressing, you're thinking of the next nurse who has to remove it. And the reason Janine's done it like this is because if I had sterile gloves on and I was removing it, see how I can remove it easily without disturbing the catheter? And that was easy to do. And then the next nurse can also take apart the dressings without disturbing or moving the catheter if they have the bunny ears in place. So this is all to set up the next person for success. Now we have a free catheter that can be manipulated and angioed and rewired by the doctor. Okay. The end.